there's a question that asks that Singaporeans are actually less excited about museums than their Western counterparts. So, is it because of the lack of sense of history, or is it that Singaporeans do not naturally take pride in their history themselves, and they feel that Western culture is more atas, to use a colloquial term?
No, I don't think we should be hard on ourselves. These things take time. First of all, I'm not sure when you say the question was, we don't seem to be as excited, or we don't seem to have a museum-going culture compared to other countries or Western countries. Then, of course, you got to. I mean, it's a question that you got to probe a bit deeper, lah. Factually, is it true? I think certainly we are by far not the best in the world in terms of museum-going cultures. I think we are probably better than some Western countries, not everyone. And again, always compare against city and country, because it's very different, right? We are one city. You compare country, it's a very different scale of comparison. But if you ask me about our museum-going culture, it's a work in progress. We are indeed young as a country, as a nation, less than 50 years of independence, and so the sense of history is quite short. Even though Singapore, of course, has a much longer history that goes beyond our independence, our sovereign years. I mean, 19th century, Singapore is already present, but as a country, less than 50 years, so that sense of history is still quite short, still developing, still a work in progress. Secondly, if you think about the museum-going culture, it really must start from young, right? And I don't know how many of you have had that experience when you were young going to museums. I didn't when I was young. I didn't when I was growing up at all. And you probably may feel the same. So it's a matter of time, I think, that perhaps it wasn't so ingrained in the mindsets or the culture of our people, of our forefathers then. But I think it will change, particularly when people like your generation become parents, you have your children. I'm sure you would be interested in bringing your children to the museum. So we are doing a few things. Last year, I decided to make museums free, and I think it's had some impact, because we have seen a rise in visitorship, more than 25%. And this last year, we've had like a record high of 3 million visitors to the museums. But it's not just about the numbers, because we do see habits changing. So we see more first-time visitors. That means adults, even have never visited the museum before coming for the first time. Just because they say, oh, now I realize it's free, maybe I should just come by for a visit. And secondly, habits changing, because in the past, you may have had to buy tickets for everyone in the family, and then you have to plan a time on the weekend, and then you all try to visit everything in the museum because you've bought the tickets. Now it's a different, you don't feel pressured to go and see everything within a single visit. You can go at your leisure, visit anytime you want, see a few exhibits, come back another day and see another few exhibits. It's okay. And many of you, well, I suppose students was already free before, I think, so maybe you don't feel the impact so much. But we do get that feedback from families and people visiting with their children. So I think that's good, because it's about the mindset and about the habit of wanting to go to the museum, and it's a place that you can enjoy. So it's had some impact, but I don't think it's enough, and that's why, as Seok San said, this year we decided that beyond just making the museums free, you really want to transform or make the experience in the museum a very positive one, so that when people go to the museum, they have a good experience, they see good exhibits, there's a wow factor, right, when they go. And then you want to go back again. And to do that, you need to invest. You need to invest in better collections, new collections. You need to revamp the museum, the whole visitorship experience, which is more than just the collection itself, because it includes the facade, the F&B options that's offered within the museum, all the other things that's being done within the museum, I think needs to be enhanced. And that's what we are trying to do with this additional investment, to do it for the National Museum as well as for the Asian Civilization Museum. We are buying new collections. We are looking at changing the facade, changing the whole visitor experience. And hopefully when we are done next year, all of you can benefit because you would hopefully see a much, I mean, if you go to the museum, it will be a much more positive experience. You will enjoy the exhibits that are there, but also the F&B options. We are looking at changing some of them. And no reason why you can't go hang out there, have a coffee, do your work, you know, chill out, hang out with friends, and then go into the museum and have a good time. Because it's free and you can just enjoy, right? And that it should be a good hangout place for all of you. And that's what we are hoping to do. So, so this is work in progress. Hopefully with some of the investments we are making, there will be more welcoming and attractive places for all of you.